On a warm late June day at Black Beach in Silver Bay, the water temperature registers a bone-chilling 41 degrees. 2 days after 2 teenagers drowned while cliff jumping. 296 days after the Grand Marais Coast Guard station 55 miles away closed for good. On June 25th, Austin Henning and Max Williams stood little chance of survival when they plunged into the bitter cold water. Local emergency crews responded, as did a rescue boat from Coast Guard Station Bayfield and an aircraft from Coast Guard Station Traverse City, Michigan.
Anytime that there's a search and rescue case, you treat that person like they were a member of your own family.
Lieutenant Philip Gertler is a Coast Guard public affairs officer for the Great Lakes. He says when an emergency call comes in, decisions are made quickly.
So we receive the notification. We immediately, our command center folks, but they look at, where did the incident happen? Which unit can respond to it the quickest?
Until last fall, that likely would have been from Grand Marais. But that station's former territory is now divided between Bayfield and Duluth. Something Northern Minnesota State Senator Grant Housechild says is wrong.
And now that we've seen what happens when we don't have a Coast Guard along the North Shore, my hope is that the Coast Guard may reconsider.
He's sending a letter to the Coast Guard calling for the Old North Station to reopen. That's after already allocating state money for remaining responders up the shore to help step up in the Guard's absence.
$3 million in emergency equipment for Cook County and Grand Portage. That way they could get the equipment that they needed and hire the staff that they would need to respond to these sorts of things.
Oh, absolutely. It boils down to having the proper equipment.
Cook County Sheriff Pat Eliason will be a benefactor of that investment after telling us in our special report last year the Coast Guard leaving was a mistake.
It would be much more unsafe.
Fast forward to present day, and while the sheriff's frustrations remain, he's using that state money to take action.
We are actually in the process now of developing a Marine unit for the sheriff's office, and we are working in a partnership with the Grand Portage tribal government to establish not only one in Grand Marais, but a Marine unit in Grand Portage as well.
The law enforcement tribal team-up is the first of its kind in U.S. history as they join forces to fill a void left by a government agency.
We want them to be, as good as we can get them through the Coast Guard training for boarding vessels and for doing rescues and things like that.
Making the most of a difficult situation to limit the number of lives lost up the North Shore.
What we shouldn't have is a response from all the way in Michigan or Wisconsin responding to our needs here.
We're going to take steps to fill that gap ourselves.